everyone, it's Phaedra. Welcome back to those who've been here before and hello to anybody new. I have a flower farm with my husband over here in Australia and we have a florist business and we love to make bouquets, and it seems that you all love to watch us make bouquets. So maybe a couple of months ago, I did a video on my progress through bouquet making, so right from the beginning to now, and you really liked it. So I said, why don't you send me some pictures of your bouquets and I'll do a critique on those. So that's what we're doing today. And we're starting with Katherine Blackwell. And she says, thanks Phaedra, what a wonderful idea. I've been doing bouquets for a short time and feel they always fall short of my expectations. I'd really value some constructive critiquing. This is not wrapped yet and it's sold for $50. Cheers, Kathy. So let's have a look. Wow, it looks beautiful. How pretty are those colors? I think the way that you've sort of swirled the colors around the bouquet is really pretty. It is very, very packed though. That's probably my critique. There are a lot of flowers in this bouquet. Let me just count the roses. It looks like you've got 12 roses in there, which is more than a full bunch that you would buy at the wholesaler. So I don't know where you are, it doesn't say, but where I am, 10 roses at the wholesaler will cost around $24. So for those 10 roses, you've got to charge $75 to cover your cost. So I'm assuming that you've grown everything in this bouquet, and that can make it very hard to try to limit yourself with what you're putting in the bouquet. And you really have to get very good at understanding how much each stem is worth. And the reason I say that is if sometime in the future you want to move into buying some flowers from a wholesaler, maybe you've decided you want to sell through the winter as well and you can't grow the flowers in the winter. If that's something that could be a potential for you in the future, you really want to try to price your bouquets as close to retail pricing as you can, because what's going to happen is you'll go to buy flowers at the wholesaler and you won't make any money because you're selling this bouquet for less than what it would have cost you to buy those flowers at a wholesale price. So you would lose money. If you're not ever planning on buying flowers at a wholesale, it doesn't really matter. And you do need to sort of look at your local market and sort of gauge what will sell. But one thing that you could improve on this is take some of those flowers out. So some of those roses, you don't even notice them. And so something that you can do just to make it a bit easier is once you've made your bouquet, have a look at it. Anything that's hidden, pop that stem back out because you can't see it anyway. And that's going to create some space. Something else is, I'm not sure if you know, and maybe you have, it is very tight though. Are you spiraling your stems? Because if you spiral the stems, and I've got videos on how to do that, if you spiral your stems, you're automatically creating space and air between each stem. And it can also help prevent a bunch going moldy because there's that little bit of airflow between the stems. But other than that, I do think it's really beautiful. I think the flowers that you've got here are gorgeous. The colors are beautiful. It's a really nice bouquet. Well done, Katherine. So next we have Janelle, and Janelle has said, hi Phaedra, Janelle from Queensland here. Hope your season's going well. We're a bit dry up here. We have a small dam, so flowers are going well for now, but the dam is dropping quick. We're praying for rain. It's hard to get a flower farm off the ground with the weather, yes, but it's farming. Here's a few bunches. I do the same thing with overcrowding, okay? I get a little overexcited about putting as many of the pretty flowers as I can together, but I love playing with God's creation. It's awesome, and we get to cheer others up too. I've had no training either, but people love the flowers, so I'm happy. I'm a flower farmer, not a florist. That gives me a different clientele. Hope these photos come up. I sent a few bunches and my idea of an arrangement or two. God bless. Okay, let's have a look. So Janelle, I'll bring up this one first. So this is a very lovely bouquet. I love purple and I think it's wrapped really nicely. It's a simple wrap. I really like the weight of your wrap there. It looks like a very lightweight cardstock almost. It's really pretty. I would love to see the color palette of your farm, or is this just what was sort of blooming at this time, or do you have lots of different colors? That'd be cool to know. I'm not sure if you've spiraled the stems, but in a pageant style bouquet like this, You don't always need to do that. You can sometimes just lay it flat on a bench or something and bunch it up, and you can create space by just sort of overlapping the stems. So potentially you've done that. I think you've done a nice job of putting shorter flowers in the front, because sometimes ranunculus can have a shorter stem, and a bouquet style, a pageant style bouquet is a way to hide the fact that you've got some shorter stems, and that's really nice. Yeah, well done. Okay, Janelle, let's go to another one. Oh, I saw this one in my emails and it was so cute. I love the colors. Beautiful. And I love the little basket. That's so cute. I would love to know how much you're charging for these. That's one thing that I would love to know. I think you've got the different heights really nice. You've got air and movement in the bouquet, well, in the arrangement. I feel like the balance is really well. You've got, you know, about a third of the arrangement is the actual basket and the other 2/3 are the flowers, which works really nicely. You've moved the colors around beautifully. These are all warm tone flowers, which are all going to work together really nicely. I think you've done another really good job. Okay, so this one has my favorite flowers. One of my favorite flowers, the hellebore. And considering hellebores, they do come in lots of colors, but often it's these kind of tones. There's not a lot to them. I think you've done a really good job of putting them in arrangement where it's kind of all the same flower. You've got a couple of carnations popped in amongst there as well, which is nice. It just moves your eye around the arrangement. Baskets are kind of pricey. They look amazing. Look how good a basket looks in an arrangement. I'm wondering, did you sell this one or was it just practice? And if you sold it, how much did you sell it for? Because I feel like basket arrangements are quite expensive and hellebores are an expensive flower as well. It seems you've picked the hellebores at the right stage as well. Well done. Their stamens look like they've fallen out or are falling out, which is a little trick with hellebores, and that's how you get incredibly long vase life out of hellebores. If you pick them too early in the season, they're just going to wilt. So well done. Another very nice arrangement. I could say that it's really filled, but in an arrangement like this, really filling up the spaces, especially with foliage, it looks really good. And you've made use of the foliage that comes on the hellebores. So that's nice. I think you've got one last one, Janelle. Oh, this is an interesting one. Look how cute that is. And I've seen boot bouquets before, but they're the short boots or they're the work boots, so they're a lot shorter. And I think this one works really well. And if somebody had said, oh, I'm going to do an arrangement in a long gum boot, I'd be thinking, okay. But I think you've pulled it off really nicely. And the color of the boot is very, it's very in your face, but you've added the blues in with the tall stems, and I feel like it balances things out and it keeps your eye moving back up to the flowers rather than it just wanting to keep going back down to the boot. And I love the little bird. I love putting little birds in things. I have them in my pot plants in the house. I love little things like that. I think people, when they buy bouquets as well, those little surprises are, I don't know, they kind of feel like they're getting something for free, but it's something really good. There is a little space down on the bottom here where you can see the stems, and that's something I try to hide usually. I'll just put some other little thing, tuck it down in the front just to hide those stems that are hitting the vessel or the vase, or in this case, the gumboot. I just personally feel like it's nice if you don't see the stems in an arrangement like this, where the stem's actually meeting that, whatever it is that you're using to put the flowers in. But other than that, another beautiful bouquet. Well done. Okay, next, who have we got? Pam McNary. Okay. Hi from New Hampshire, USA. Where is that? Let me just do a quick Google and have a look. Ah, okay. All right. Okay. I mean, I didn't need to know that, but it's just nice to know. Attached some spring bouquets. I love the fancy daffodils, the gift that keeps on giving, and coral peony. How lucky that you've got peonies. On Instagram, I go by Old Lady Farm because I recently retired and I'm trying to cultivate old lady friends. That is so cute. That is a good way to do it. This is my second full year growing cut flowers, and I'm getting the hang of starting plants from seed. over the next few years, I want to focus on bulking up on perennial cut flowers and wintering what I can in zone 4B. So 4B, it gets very cold and you have a very short season. So let's have a look at what you've got. Okay, I think this is so cute and so sweet. And I love the glass vase that you've put it in. That's really, really pretty. Those peonies are a very interesting colour. I feel like farms over here always go for like the pinks and the purples and the whites. I'm a little bit mesmerised by that orange peony. It is so beautiful. But one thing I will say is, it is such a gorgeous flower, and they've got such a short like window when they're available. I think you should have had that sitting higher in the arrangement. It is really the centerpiece. The tulips are beautiful, the daffodils are beautiful, but they're things that people see all the time. That orange peony, unless this is something that grows in your area and it's like the most common flower, I don't know, but I doubt it because it's still going to have a short flowering season. That should be the thing that, in my mind, should be the thing that's kind of taking center stage. And it is in the center, but it's down low. So I feel like if you had a longer stem on that and popped it up out of the bouquet, out of the arrangement a little bit more, that would be good. I love daffodils too, and I love these pretty frilly ones, and I've put heaps in because I love them so much. I think the color palette's beautiful, and it's an unusual color palette for spring. You're normally seeing like the pinks and the purples and the really soft kind of pastel colors in spring, and I think that's beautiful to see a nice orange and a really warm toned bouquet for spring. I love it. I also like how you've got the tulips kind of, what would you say, like cascading out to the side. Possibly you could have balanced that a little bit by either having the peony on the other side, just lifting up a little bit, or having some more tulips draping over the other side. But in saying that, I know it can be very different when you're seeing an arrangement in real life. Sometimes it's hard to capture in a photo, but I think this is really beautiful. Okay, Pam, let's have a look at your other one. We've got another peony. Don't they just look amazing? They look so pretty, they almost look fake, don't they? So here we've got the pink one, and this is what we see over here. We see the pinks and the whites and the corals, and I haven't seen an orange one over here. And I feel like if I put peonies in, I'm going to do those colours. I've got to try and source them now. So you've got some of the Canterbury bells. This is really pretty. It's a little bit more of a wild looking arrangement. One thing I will say about this one, the foliage is almost taking center stage a little bit over some of the flowers. The Sweet William that's kind of around the peony possibly could have been a little bit taller. Maybe the peony could have gone back a little bit, or if you had two, put the one peony in the front and one a little bit back further and higher, and probably just tuck that foliage in a little bit more just so it's not kind of taking up huge amounts of space where there could be a focal flower. But having grown these in your second year, I think you're doing amazing. Well done. This is our 4th year and I'm only just growing Canterbury bells now, and I haven't even put peonies in. So I think, and the quality of your flowers look beautiful. That Canterbury bell looks like the kind of quality that I see from commercial growers that I'm picking up at the wholesaler. And often the wholesaler has water staining on the actual flower. So beautiful job. I think you're doing great for just into your second year. Well done. Thank you so much for sending these in. Okay, next we have Katie, and I'm really sorry if I say your name wrong. Katie Noki. Is it a silent K or is it Knoke? I don't know. I'm really sorry. I need pronunciation. So hi Phaedra, I love your videos. Thank you so much for sharing so much useful information. Thank you. I try. This is a very late. Oh yeah, she sent it through late. I sell $20 bouquets at our farm gate, so a very basic level, and I do everything around my 3-year-old and 9-month-old. That is rough. But I wanted to send something through and also just pass on my appreciation. This was requested to be daisies, gypsophilia, and pops of colour. Let's have a look. So Katie sent us one bouquet, but 2 views of it. So let's have a look at this first view. So pretty. I love Matricaria so much. And those big daisies are really, really pretty. I can see you've also got another one of my favorites in there, the Cosmos. And you've also got, is that raspberry leaves, the foliage that's sort of trailing up, that's really pretty. And the fact that you grew the Gypsophila, well done. I've had trouble growing it. I'm just not sure whether it doesn't like our area or what's going on, but I'm having a lot of trouble growing it. You've also got some Scabiosa in there. And do you know what I really like? I like the way that you've used that Queen Anne's lace, the Dara, the chocolate Queen Anne's lace, to kind of fill in pockets down low. I often see it coming up out of a bouquet, and it does look good, but it's a very big head. And sometimes it's not like the prettiest flower. It's interesting, but it's not pretty. And when you've got these other really pretty flowers, you've done a really good job of putting them center stage and kind of just filling space with the other flowers. So there's flowers there, but they're not dragging your attention away. And I really like, in this case, how your foliage is the tall flower, and you've got the Gypsophila as well. But that foliage, because it's a really pretty one, the pretty leaf, and it trails up. It looks really nice. You've done a great job wrapping as well. And I can see that you've got I think this might be the same paper that I use. So I'm a little bit biased, aren't I? I do like it. You've done a really nice job wrapping. Let's just have a look at the other view real quick, just to see if we can notice anything different. Because I haven't told you anything you can improve yet, have I? Probably what stands out when we look at this view, there's some feverfew, or the matricaria, that is up really high, and it's just kind of in a bunch. That's probably something I would have pushed down a little bit further so you don't see all those stems. And probably one other thing is Cosmos looks really cute as a long tall flower coming up out of a bouquet. It adds like a little bit of whimsy. So don't be afraid to play with height a little bit more with some of those dainty stems. But in terms of this bouquet, there's no actual what you would call a traditional focal flower in this bouquet, and I love that look. I really love it. Well done, Katie. You've done a beautiful job. And I just want to say quickly, Katie has a business. It's called Grown by Lightning Hollows. I'll pop that up on the screen. And she's in the Hunter Valley in New South Wales. A very pretty area in Australia, I must say. Okay, next. We've got Ebony Vanderlee. So she says, Vanderlee, sorry if I'm butchering your name. Good morning, Phaedra. I only just saw your post on YouTube about filming for this video. I'm a little late, but thought I'd send something through. I am an at-home gardener with a love for flowers, so very self-taught when it comes to arranging. Let's have a look, Ebony. Okay, this is very beautiful. I love... Okay, so this is a really good example of using either all warm-toned colours or cool-toned colours. So all the flowers in this bouquet are warm-toned. Even that pink is a warm-toned pink. It's got more of a yellow base to it. And sometimes one of the things that can make an arrangement look not quite right, and we don't know why, is when you've mixed cool tones with warm tones, which you can do. But sometimes when you can't quite work out what's wrong, that is what's wrong. But anyway, with this one, it's all nice and cohesive. It's warm toned, and the lilies are looking beautiful. I love that deep red. One thing when you're doing an arrangement though, the stamens on the lilies, if you're selling them to customers, they drop, the pollen is awful. It's very staining, and people can complain because it can stain their furniture or their tablecloths, which a lot of people don't use tablecloths anymore, but it can. So just be aware of that. I just pick it out, and I know it makes the flower look not as interesting, but I would rather not have complaints about it. And you can just let people know as other heads open up to just pull that out, and then it's up to them whether they do it or not. I think this is really pretty, and the foliage is very dainty. It looks really good the way that you've just kind of popped those little foliage pieces around, especially the eucalyptus. Did you grow that eucalyptus? It looks really good. Okay, let's have a look at the other one. So Ebony, you haven't said you're in Australia, but I'm guessing you're in Australia because we've got the pincushion flower and the wax flower and the woolly bush. And it looks like a little bit of leptospermum around there. I can't work that out. So I'm guessing you're in Australia, and this is a spring bouquet that you've just done. Because you've also got the ranunculus, carnations, and some roses. This is a very heavy bouquet. You've got a lot of stuff in it. But in a box like that, like I said before, in a vase or a wrapped bouquet, you want some more air, or I feel like you want more air amongst the flowers. But when you're doing an arrangement, I almost feel like you can keep stuffing things in there and it looks really luxe. because I have seen some box arrangements and there's so much air amongst the flowers and you can see the stems hitting the vessel. Like you can see space between the vessel and where the flowers start, which I don't like. But you've done a great job. You've kind of hidden everything. You've hidden the mechanics of whatever's inside your box there. I'm having a look and I just can't find something that I would change other than the bow. I don't like that type of ribbon. It creases so easily. It's kind of a cheap ribbon, which I know is, you know, affordable. But if you can invest in some, and you can get it from, if you're in Australia, get it from APAC. It's cheap at APAC. If you're near one of those, just go in and grab it because you'll have to pay postage on it unless you want to buy a whole heap of colors. But get the satin ribbon. It elevates your arrangements to the next level. I would love to know how much you charge for this. But if you're working on a budget, I get it. You've got to just keep it in budget. But if you're growing all these flowers, well done. So that wraps us up. Thank you so much, everybody. That was a little bit of fun. I'll do another one soon. If you want to send, if you've done a really nice bouquet, you want to send it through, or you've got one that you're not sure what's quite right, what's gone wrong with it, send it through. I'll just collect them in my inbox and we'll do another one of these soon if you liked it. Thank you for hanging around and I'll see you next time. Bye.